this is Nicole Young. I'm going to go ahead and show you how I do my time-lapse videos with my DSLR. First, I'll go ahead and explain the equipment that I use. You want to make sure that you have a really sturdy tripod. This is a really old tripod I've had for over 10 years. It's really big, but it does the job because I want to make sure that my camera is going to stay in the same place. I want everything in the image to move as I'm taking the series of shots, but I want my camera to actually be still the whole time. The other thing I want to have is, if you don't have interval setting on your camera, you can also do it manually by just using a remote shutter, and you can just do that every second or however you want to do it. Alright, the next thing that we're going to talk about is the settings on your camera. Two main things. You want to make sure that you manually focus before you actually take the pictures, and you want to have your exposure on manual. You want to make sure it stays the same through the entire series. Even if the sun is setting or the sun is rising, it'll look more natural that way. Another thing I do for my settings is I actually shoot in JPEG. This is the only time I actually will shoot in JPEG because I can fit a lot of images on one card. I can take over 2,000 pictures for one actual time-lapse series and get maybe 30 seconds or so or 30 seconds to a minute of actual video in that. And I do make sure I have one of these Expo discs, and I use this to preset my white balance. And because when I use JPEG, you don't have a lot of room like you do with raw images when you're actually doing white balance in post-processing. I'm going to go ahead and show you my settings. Now I know it's going to be different for everyone. Not everyone has a Nikon, and not everyone has a Nikon D200, but I thought I'd go ahead and show you for those of you who do or have similar cameras. I'm in the interval timer shooting, and I'm just going to go ahead and select the now function because that's going to get me started to take pictures right away instead of delaying the actual time. And this is just saying I want to do a 1-second exposure. This can go minutes or hours. You can do really long settings if you want to. I usually just do a second or two. And then you can also do several exposures at the same time. I usually keep it to one, but the most you can do is 999 of them. So I usually will be taking my pictures and I'll have to restart it because it'll take 999 photos and then it'll stop, and then I just have to restart it. And then I go to on, I click OK, and it does its thing.